Ricky, welcome to People Legal.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to start off by talking about a bit of a story you told me a moment ago and that sort of stuff. So you had some very unusual preparation for this meeting today.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Sure. So I like to do the sauna cold plunge. It kind of snaps you back into reality and kind of gets rid of all that brain fog. It's a really good way to sort of, when I got something big or something I'm really stressed out about, I'll do that in the morning, and it kind of gives me a bit of confidence and a bit of a wake up call to help me focus.
Yeah, fantastic tip, actually. I like to take these tips and bank them away for all our subscribers, and they can listen to them and see what take what they want to take from. That's fantastic. But back onto you.
Yep.
So tell us about you.
Okay. So, it's been quite a journey. Probably started back in 2006. I was actually working for Fuji Xerox. And we
go way back. Let's go way back to the beginning of Ricky. There's a great story.
So yeah, look, my family moved to Australia back in the 80s.
Yeah.
We're from Nicaragua, which is in Central America. Most people haven't heard from it.
Yeah,
there's not that many of us. I think there's about 900 of us across Australia.
Amazing.
And my parents were like, what's the furthest place we could go with the least population? And it was Australia. Wow. So we moved here, and it was pretty humble beginnings and whatnot. So my family moved back overseas, fallen in love with an Australian girl, as the story goes, and I decided, no, I want to stay here in Australia. I love it.
What a great country.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't think of anything else. I've got my own family now. My son's grown up here, and I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather bring him up on.
Fantastic. Yeah. And your career. So tell us about your career.
Yeah. So look, my parents pushed me into doing accounting. Those who know me know I'm not exactly a numbers person. I like spending money, not great at saving it. Yeah. So I did accounting, got a diploma in accounting, and then I did an advanced diploma in marketing management. I felt that was more me and was more to my rhythm of life, and a bit more exciting. I got to meet people and talk to people. So I moved to Melbourne with a friend and started working at Fuji Xerox. And my first real job was helping Fuji Xerox clients adopt technology, and essentially that they were starting to get into printing a lot more. So it started off there. I got an opportunity to work with a gentleman at Handysoft in Melbourne.
Good old Handysoft.
Yeah,
goodness.
So that's going back a few years, right? So back in 2006, worked for Handysoft, which was phenomenal. It was such a learning curve for me, and the gentleman I worked with, he was incredible. So he was a marketing and sales guy, and he ran all of Australia, and he was just such an inspiration for me. And then a couple of years later, he's like, "Hey, look, we want to open a office in Queensland. Do you want to open it up for us?" So I went to Perth, where the operations was for Handysoft, did all the training, stayed there for a couple of months, moved to Brisbane, opened up the Brisbane office, and I ran the regional office in Brisbane for a couple of years, and then I moved back to Sydney. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then I worked for Reckon for about 7 years. So same thing with Reckon. It was helping clients adopt their desktop solution and start moving everything to hosted solutions, which is pre-cloud for all those kids out there. So I was helping clients transfer across there, and then moved to MYOB. And my MYOB got rid of their version 19 at the time and started just doing everything on the cloud. So I was helping clients across their practice adopt that, and then we started doing the document solutions and paperless office, and it really just sped up quite quickly, technology. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit, and I kind of hit that like everyone else across Australia. I think almost that midlife crisis, like, oh, I need a change. What am I going to do? And then an opportunity came out to do outsourcing, originally for a company out of India, and it was around finance, accounting, and more process driven. So that was a true outsourcing solution where you would send them the documents and the process, and they would do everything for you. And then I met a gentleman, Nick Hastings, who ran Hammerjack, started Hammerjack, and he's like, look, I love the way you work. Come work with me. And I did that for the next 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've actually had a fairly big background in the whole professional services sort of area.
Yeah, so look, outsourcing has been an incredible journey for me, because when I thought I'd do something different, I knew my skills were interchangeable. So it was consulting, it was helping people adopt technology, it was helping them change their process to give them a bit more streamlined process and a bit more profitability, getting rid of a lot of the stuff that they get bogged down on a day-to-day process. So outsourcing was a little bit different because a lot of peripherals came into play as well. So ISO certification, what's your IT setup? What are your systems that you're using? Are they cloud-based? Do we need VPN access? Do you need terminal server access? What are your internal processes? What's your culture like? So is your culture going to fit someone working externally. So all these other different things came into play. So the first probably 2 years were quite a learning curve for me, and a few other things that I never thought about started coming into play. And that's when Nick was like, he was a real, how to put it, like he was fantastic at showing me how to sort of evolve my skills and sharpen my skills and how to help clients sort of adopt this new system of working. COVID was amazing too for outsourcing.
Yeah, it would have been.
So clients were thinking, before it was a bit of a dirty word and everything's going out there.
Yeah.
They were really scared of doing it, but I guess remote working became a everyday thing. I mean, it still is. Kind of
Wonderful thing.
I think it's, you're hiring people, you hire them to do a job. You
Yep.
didn't hire to babysit them. So
That's
if you can
right.
work remotely, let them work remotely, let them do the job.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think to myself, like, it's all about hiring people to get results versus often hear people saying, well, I've done the job,
Yeah.
but did you get a result?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually, I think, the whole thing, the whole culture around, remote working should be around results. But
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the main reasons we've worked out of the Philippines. The culture there is phenomenal.
yep.
I don't know if you've heard the old saying, have you ever met an angry Filipino? Never. They're the most amazing people and such a beautiful
You
culture.
must have some amazing karaoke skills from that.
Look, my karaoke is, let's just say it's getting better.
I'm not going to ask you to burst out and do a number for us today.
You don't want to do that to the viewers, no. So look, we chose the Philippines because one is the time zone. So it's WA time zone essentially, but the staff are used to working your time zone, your region, your calendar. Yeah. So they fit in right in like a local employee. The culture is fantastic. It's very similar to ours and they're very highly skilled. It's a $32 billion industry that's supported by the government. You've got Google there, you've got Microsoft. So you've got very highly skilled workers and we're able to tap into that.
Well, a lot of law firms as well, because one of my experiences early on was, a company that I was actually, I was a co-founder of Docs Corp. We actually went to the Philippines to look for staff there and did outsourcing there. And that came off the back of some law firm referrals. We had some law firm customers that were in the Philippines, had built BPO offices out there. And they sort of said, look, have you considered this? And I thought, no, it worked out really well.
Yeah, look, massive law firms, especially like in the US, run whole departments out of there as well. And I think Australia's always been a bit slower to adopt change, but I think we're finally getting there. And we've got massive restraints around staffing. We just can't get enough staff in Australia. And I think we're hundreds of thousands of roles across Australia are just in shortages. So roles shortages or staffing shortages, and then the cost. So the cost of production is quite expensive here in Australia.
Well, yeah, cost pressures, they're amazing. Look at wages going up. And so some people feel it, some people don't. But for a small business, I guess, small, medium-sized business, finding, I guess, junior, mid-level people, it's actually hard who want to do the job, who want to actually crack on and get things done, get the results at the right price.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think price is definitely a factor there. When I talk to firms about, all right, well, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, obviously, let's lower our cost of production. Yeah, you're going to find out that's easy. But some of the peripherals that I don't think about is, okay, so I'm lowering my cost for the salary component, but then I'm also lowering my production costs or capital costs. So office space, internet, insurance, payroll tax, superannuation. Yeah. On top of that, your ISO certification, all your IT support, infrastructure, all those sort of things that are a cost and are a massive cost, especially for firms. You're able to outsource those and package that into your salary component, which, like with us, it ends up being something between $3 and $5 an hour on top of your employee salary that you're already saving 70% on.
Wow.
So it's massive savings.
And for a small business as well, I'm harping about small business, but obviously large business as well can get benefits. But I think particularly for small business, that's the kind of stuff they need to keep going.
Absolutely. And look, we work with clients all the way across their journey. So from the startup or your small SME that are looking to hire their first staff member, but they don't really know where to start. So we'll sit there and consult with them and go, look, what are you trying to achieve? Yeah. Is it just reducing your cost, or you're looking to build out a team, or you're looking for a structure, or whatever it might be? We'll work with you to sort of build out a roadmap to get you there. But for small businesses and SMEs, the biggest component for them is you still have control over your team. You still have control over the output, the security levels, and who gets hired. So you don't just get bums on the seat. Yeah. You'll actually be across the hiring process and you have final say on who gets hired. So you still have that ultimate control.
There's a ton of outsourcing companies out there that do things. What makes you guys different?
Yeah, look, great question. And that's where Eco Global really came to play for me. So I really love my job and I respect the team that I was working with. These guys said, look, we want to do something a little bit different. We have another number of businesses and we have a similar way of operating. We found it works really well for us. So Eco Global, what we wanted to do was give the consumer power again. I feel that outsourcing has become expensive. You get gouged a lot with fees and exit fees and staff reduction fees, and they lock you into long-term contracts and big upfront deposits. So what we wanted to do is, especially for small businesses, the cash flow is critical for any business to survive, right? So you don't want your money tied into someone else's account while they're earning interest, and it's there as a security deposit until you. So what we've done is we've gone, okay, let's get rid of all that, strip it all back, get it back to basics and keep control to the client. So no big deposit fees, no upfront costs, your setup fee, which covers all your recruitment process, the advertisements, employment contracts, security passes, background checks is $500.
Amazing.
Once we don't charge you anything until your employee starts, and then you sign a contract. So I'm not sure if you ever bought a car, you don't go to the dealership and go, hey, let me sign the contract and then you find me a car. So what we've done is we're going, well, why aren't we doing that? So we won't lock you into anything until we found you an employee. You've done the background, you've done the interviews, you said that's the person that I want working for me. Then we'll go, okay, we'll sign the contracts, issue an employment offer for the candidate, and then you don't pay anything until they start day one.
Incredible.
It's like your mobile phone bill. You just pay your month in ahead. Exit is easy. So look, and business happens. Sometimes you go through some hardships. So you might say, hey, look, I might need to reduce the staff, or I'm going to need to duck out for a little bit and we'll pick it back up once business is back up and running. So you're not having these massive penalties to be able to pivot and be flexible with your business. We'll handle all that, and we just ask for a 60-day notice period. That's it.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds like some flexibility there.
Yeah, well, I think we just wanted to be honest and flexible, and being a business ourselves, we were like, what would help us if we were trying to do this ourselves?
So my big fat question is, why for law firms? Like, why would a law firm even consider this?
Perfect. And look, we have spent a lot of time, a lot of money. We've invested into our infrastructure. We've done all our ISO certifications. We've got our own IT team to support everyone onshore and offshore. We do all our background checks on all your employees. We do all the police checks. We do everything you need to get done so you know that you're getting secure process staff members. With law firms, I think integrity is a massive part for them. So for us to deliver and making sure that they get what they need when they need it, they can grow up that team so they can scale the team at quite a fast pace. They can reduce the team if they need to, but also knowing that we have that industry knowledge where we go, okay, what is it specifically you need for that employee? What tasks, what skill sets? And we'll go out and actually hire that person individually for that.
So what kind of roles for law firms? Well, I mean, if I was a law firm saying to myself that I'm actually, 20-person law firm. What kind of things would you be, talking to me about from point of view of outsourcing?
So in the past, what we've done is we really wanted to see what you want to achieve. So are we going to scale the business? Are you looking to reduce costs? Are you looking to reduce costs in sort of departments? So we'll have a look and say, okay, well, what roles can we outsource? The important thing is that we really want clients to understand is we're not there to take away jobs. What we're there is to bring the support team for your onshore guys that are quite an expensive rate to be able to give your clients a better service. So administration, doing all the whip, doing all the chasing around clients. So that customer service roles are quite large there. Finance, lawyers are fantastic at what they do, but they're not the best at keeping their books up to date. So finance, aged debtors, chasing up their aged debtors, getting all their stuff in order before they send it off to their accountants to review. So that reduces a lot of time, a lot of money. These guys will come in and build out whole finance teams. So we can embed a bookkeeper or an accountant within your finance team to really streamline those processes. So most around the administration finance side of the business, we find that that's where the real value is. It's all task driven. So, it's compliance that you're going to get bogged down on day to day. There's no profit in it. It's just stuff that you have to do. So getting that work papers process done, our team will be able to get through it quite quickly.
Interesting. And you've just recently got some exciting news to share.
We're actually very excited. Next week we will be announcing our partnership with Smokeball. So Smokeball Software, we've gone through the process with them. We've had a really good conversation. We're discussing a master contract for all Smokeball clients.
Fantastic.
So we will be able to provide not only staffing, but also the compliance side of things with how does it work with your software? Do the guys need training? So if they do need training for Smokeball clients, what we're offering is giving them 50% off for the first 2 months. And that's us saying that, look, we're going to invest in you as well and help you get your staff trained up, and we'll take some of the cost and burden off you too. Because we want them there long term with you, and we want to build that relationship with you.
I mean, if I'm actually a person in the finance area in a law firm right now, I'm shaking my boots. I'm thinking to myself like, my job's going to go.
No, look, it just means that you get to do the work that you need to do. I mean, I think no one in finance got into finance to go, I'm going to do compliance work.
Yeah.
I think you get into finance to go, hey, I want to restructure the business. I want to optimize the finances in the business, not sit there and do compliance work for the tax man. So these guys will sit under you and essentially support your team. You know, all the stuff that you need to do, all the day-to-day running, chasing up clients, chasing up aged debtors, all the stuff that you really don't want to be doing. These guys make a whole career out of it.
It's interesting because what I've actually seen is some people take folks that are in the that finance function and almost like can be on the people are customer facing. They almost like create a customer. They make the customer service part of the practice deeper and better because those people have got that sort of more of that role.
Absolutely.
Like interfacing with customers.
Absolutely. I think the client facing stuff, it's almost like a two-pronged approach. Like one, you're staying on top of your compliance. You're staying on top of all your tax documents. You're staying on top of your age data. So we find that your cash flow actually improves. But on top of that is your staff are happy to come into work because they're not having to do that stuff. But then they've got a bit more time now. They can focus more on your clients. So that client facing, your clients are getting a better interaction with your staff. And there's more contact points. It makes your firm a lot stickier as well. And you're able to provide a much more deeper service with your clients.
Yeah. And what, I guess for a 20 person sort of law firm, I mean, what kind of savings could you generate for me in the first year?
Look, it'll do, just even in the staffing part, if you're not saving at least 100 grand on just salary component, you're not doing it right. And that's why we sit there with you and we just go, okay, well, what do you actually want to achieve? Is it just a cost cutting exercise? Are you looking to get your client facing staff having more interaction? So where do we support them? Are you looking to build out your finance team to go, hey, we need a better cash flow? So where do we support those guys? So it really depends what you're trying to do. But I find usually within 6 months of hiring one staff member, most clients will start hiring their second or third one within that 6-month period because they really see the value there. But in saying that as well, it's not a turnkey solution. There's always an investment of time. So you really need a really good interaction between your onshore person and your offshore person. And that's where we provide a client manager to be able to work with the, hey, you know, Timmy came in and he was upset and yelled at Susie in the Philippines. Timmy, maybe you might want to just smooth things over. You know, just help that relationship while you guys are getting used to each other. So we give you that support. There's also some upskilling. The Philippines is fantastic, but I think you really need to be able to communicate with them what you want done, when you want it done. Same with anyone hiring here in Australia. Those first few months is really critical too.
It is. I think the whole onboarding process is just so painful and so annoying for so many firms. I mean, it's just...
Well, that's probably one of the biggest parts where that's the first, you'll see your ramp up. So when you say, hey, here's my job description, this is the staff member I want, you can go back to your job and keep doing it while we do all the screening, we do all the hiring, we do all the interviews, and then we'll send you a batch of 3 to 5 candidates. You review them, you have a look at their videos, you go, yes, let's interview 1 and 2. I like them, fantastic. Which one did you like? Which one do you want to offer a job to? No, I didn't like them. This is what I didn't like. So the team will then realign with you and then go back and do all the heavy lifting. So once you've got your staff member, all you have to worry about is, okay, well, how do we embed them into our business? So we've done all the heavy lifting for you.
And I guess, I mean, it's onboarding and offboarding are the two most costly processes in a HR.
Absolutely.
area. I mean, that's massive costs. And I guess the fact that that you guys are actually taking that on, the onboarding pieces on and the offboarding pieces on as well. I mean, there's a bit of peace of mind there.
Yeah, look, there's probably a larger play to that as well. So because the way it works is we will contract the staff member out to you. So it looks great on your books. You don't have this massive liability of staffing, payroll tax, long service leave, all that sort of stuff that goes along with employing someone. That's not sitting on your books. What it actually does is we hire them under our Philippines entity. So we take on all the liability, all the compliance and everything on for you. And essentially you just pay a contract at the end of the month, and they work for you for 40 hours a week. So essentially all you have to worry about is your KPIs, upskilling, having your staff member, and we worry about all the rest of the components for you.
Fantastic. Which
means offboarding staff members, we take care of that. All the exit interviews, all the government compliances, all that sort of stuff is managed by us.
Yeah. You must see a few happy people around that actually use those services.
Look, we do, and once people jump on it, they pretty much just like, we should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
It helps businesses significantly, especially law firms, right? So law firms, they might get a huge client and they need to scale up really quickly. So we can even work with them and say, hey, look, this is a client that we're going to have for a particular business that we're doing for them. It's going to be a 12-month project. Fantastic. We can go out and find you that whole team for 12 months, put them on a 12-month contract. And essentially you, at the end of the 12 months, you go, hey, look, I really like the way they work. Let's keep them on as full-time people. Or you can just say, okay, well, that terminated that 12-month contract and we move on.
Yeah, I think, I mean, my thought process is, as a consumer of legal services, if my law firm is more interactive with me, so if they're interacting more and they're offering more levels of service and I can access different services 24/7 a day, law firms can move to a position where they can almost offer a subscription service to their clients. And I think having those resources, because I'm assuming you can have staff at different time zones as well.
Absolutely. So the great thing about our offices are they're 24/7. So 24 hours, 7 days a week. And the reason for that is we'll have clients overseas. We have clients in the US, Europe, Australia. Some clients have shifts at night. So however you want to skin that cat, we can essentially accommodate for you. So whether you've got operations that are working here in Australia and then the operations swap over to the US time zone, we can cater for both of those.
That's fantastic. I mean, so many things that you guys can do. Ricky, I really appreciate your insights today and looking forward to seeing your success.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Ricky.
I look forward to seeing more of these come out and
Perfect.
seeing what everyone else is doing. Thank you. Cheers.